Pisces. Oh, the morning I had. Anyway, I had the worst bout of food poisoning in my life. So I ended up going home sick after 4 hours working, 4 hours into my 12-hour shift. I had to, my God, what is the culprit? Let's investigate. This thing has got preservatives up to the bunghole. I don't think it was my husband's chicken dinner from 2 days ago. However, oh God. I really think it was the outside of the protein bar wrapper that I bought from Sheetz. And I am like, ugh. Just realized I was so sick. I crawled up the steps and I left my Oracle cards in the thing. And I'm going to have to run out there because I'm actually well enough to actually go outside, even though it's like, what, 20 something degrees. Hey, guys, I did like the bathroom Oracle card pulls for myself because I was like, I'm puking and pooping my brains out. And I was like, I'm going to freaking cards. This is better than looking at my cell phone and that. And, oh, let's see. Let me see if I can find them. Because I kind of just shoved everything in there and kind of just fled the hospital before I checked myself into the ER. And, yeah. I'm feeling well enough yeah, you know what? I could have caught it from last time I had this issue. Last time I had it this bad, I did get it from a patient. We don't have any sick patients right now on the unit. However, there is a gastroenteritis going around the community. And I really do believe that it was from the outside of a wrapper in the convenience store. So what Oracle deck do I use? This is something I'm playing. Yeah, I've seen I am not ever available when you're doing your live shows, Princess, but I have seen you do your thing. So I think, I really like to watch people do live readings. And what I got in the mail was the Fairies of Kindness Oracle deck by Krista Riza. Right here. And it was something that I ordered when I was all in my feels about my job and get a lot of stress. And it was like, really, it was one of the best impulse retail therapy purchases I ever made. And I also got a bottle of Ormus. And it's a beautiful deck. Let me see if I can get the box open here. And I wanted to show two cards that really vibe with me. Sacred Geometry. This is the one that I pulled last night in the dark room. I was so excited to get it in the mail. And I pulled this one, but I'll tell you, the two cards that spoke to me while I was suffering in the bathroom, praying. I was like, I wonder if my patients can hear me. The Teacher. Look at that one. I really vibed with this one because the message she has written on the back was really pointed towards me. And oh, yes, I am definitely going to watch that. I seen that. I was like, I see red flowers and talks about female orgasm. And I know that I will tell one story about that. I was meditating in the garden, the Serenity Garden behind the hospital, we have a beautiful labyrinth and butterfly garden. And I was sitting right in front of this tree. I believe it's like a pine. Now that I think about it, it's probably like more like hemlock. And there must be some kind of psychoactive active substance coming from this tree because I was totally vibing out with this tree and I had a spontaneous, female orgasm before I went back to work. So, I was like super happy, a little spring in my step. The patients got treated extra good that day. So, you know what? I just happened to pull this other one. The kitchen fairy, Yeah, and I'll tell you another female. I've had quite a few. Probably this is the first time I've ever admitted something like this. But I think part of it is my energy level, and I'm not actively seeking to have like a sexual experience. In fact, it doesn't really feel sexual at all. And uh I think it's like a kundalini thing, an energy thing, and a prayer thing. It's almost like an ecstatic experience where I feel transported into another dimension. And whenever I go outside and I have those experiences and then I go to work, the shift is off the hook. So it's just the energetic flow. Right now, I don't have any of those experiences because I feel like I'm in an energetic doldrum. And right now, for me, in the terms of the sacred wheel of the year and what I practice, right now is like a low period for me because when I went walking in the forest, I will say I came close to having almost like even beyond, it was like a brain orgasm when I was running the half marathon and I was outside absorbing all that energy, but I had a vision of the green man, the god of the forest wrapped in funeral garments with the mother of the forest mourning him. So, and I know that I'm in that kind of energetic doldrum, but yeah, I totally believe in stuff like female orgasm. So I'm totally going to watch that show and blow up your comment section. So yes, the teacher. And then I love this card I just pulled. The next live video is going to have to be from my ghetto, nasty looking kitchen. You know what? It's not ghetto. It looks like a meth cook in there. Admittedly, I have issues with my organization. And always, 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 I notice a pattern with my food poisoning. This week was just so tumultuous about my health issues. But this card, look at this card that I just happened to pull out of there. Oh my God. The kitchen fairy. A lot of people mistake the kitchen fairy for a Bogart or Harry Potter creature. This little guy gets this guy gets by with a little help from carrots as he sees the Matrix after eating them. I'll tell you. Action steps. Oh my God, the action steps. This is so me right now. Cleaning time, or make a creative mess of it all. They actually really like you. You forgot something. No, the cleaning time. Start a collection of cups, herbs, silver, or other fairy-like objects. Make soup. I make crock-pot soup and take it with me to work, and I never get sick from my crock-pot soup. You already have the bare necessities. Don't forget the after party. Use mind mapping or reminders. Oh my God, you guys. I was planning to lay in this couch and do my memory palace exercises. And so that's another thing. Sometimes good's coming and it's going to be big. Your brain is realigning itself. Yes, 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 because I got the visitation of my sole purpose, which is to be a healer. So I'm all good with being a nurse now. So I'm like not even on the medical school 6-figure debt. I can't wrap my mind around that. But I can wrap my mind around using this next year before I go back to school to get my BSN and become a nurse practitioner and everything else to pay down my existing debt. So, you know what? I just happen to pull this card out when I'm talking about that. The Flower Fairy. The Flower Fairy is super high energy. You might have a hard time pinning them down for a discussion. Just ask and you'll get the answer. Probably fast and short. Green thumbs everywhere have come across a flower fairy. And I'll tell you, Oh, action steps. Let me read you action steps because this has a lot to do with me. Water your plant. Plant in quotes. Nourish. Stop judging others. You know, about stop judging others, one thing I've stopped doing is being judgy when I go to Walmart. First of all, I like Walmart now. That's another show. I live in a very rural area, and the only grocery store we have is in the Walmart. So I used to make sport of being judgy in there. I used to almost used to be a running joke about how I was a grocery cart snob, and I would go in there, and you always know when it's the first of the month. Know what I'm saying? First of the month. And now I say to myself, you know what? There but for the grace of God go I. I could be someone, have to be on a fixed income. I could be on welfare for some reason. I make too much money for welfare. But there was a point in my life where my husband lost his career and I was thinking about it and I was just like, as long as I have 2 hands and 2 feet, I'm working. So this has helped me, but I'm not judgy like that anymore. Like I catch myself. Befriend the silence. My husband just went to work, so I have the whole house to myself for the next, like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours. Stretch your body. I am going to walk around, even though I know the minute I eat something, I'll probably go back in the toilet, but I'm probably going to stick to fluids and fast. That really works. Your current situation has unseen helpers, making the situation improve on your own. Hey, I have a kitchen god shelf. I have a kitchen god shelf to help me become a clean, organized person because my house admittedly is a state of chaos for whatever reason. The kitchen is the hardest room to maintain, not because we use it a lot. I use it a lot, but I find that the kitchen reflects my current thought processes, and for the first half of this week it was super chaotic, so that's how it is. And my dining room is the second hardest place to maintain. The animals love to go do their business in there. No matter what I do, I could have litter boxes, I could have paper, but I think it's because spiritually, the more spiritually I get developed, I get, the more active the and haunted the house gets. Not that the spirit is hostile, but the lady of the house killed herself because she was suffering from stomach ulcers. And this was like 3 to 4 years before they invented the proton pump inhibitor. This just goes to show you, not all medicine's bad. Not all medicine's bad. Someone actually killed themselves because they were in that much pain from a stomach ulcer. So the fairy of respect was what comes up now, and I'm talking about this person. And I've always respected the lady of the house because, believe it or not, when my husband and I are having arguments and we're having disagreements, she will come and tap me on the shoulder and I'll get a feeling. And that room, I'm looking at it right now, that room would get really, really cold. Really cold. And so here is something that I feel is very important. We need to respect ourselves. The fairy of respect understands your needs and desires because you both know how to communicate and you've given time for this relationship. Actually, my husband and I do communicate a lot, but because of the fact that, he does have physical illness and other issues and I have my own issues, that sometimes that we do have roadblocks, and but roadblocks are meant to be busted up and you got to get around them. Respect your elders in the ancient ways. I absolutely respect my elders. I work in a nursing home. I'm a geriatric nurse. I'm a geriatric psych nurse. In fact, that's part of my stress because I feel like how my job is not fulfilling me. At some point, the honeymoon wore off. I became an RN. I was high on that for a little while because I finally finished college, guys. I finally finished college, and I thought my mother would be proud of me because being a nurse is a very big deal in her country. So, and I thought that would help a lot of things, and it really didn't. So, never do things for other people. Well, you can, but in my case, that's another show. And so I've always had respect for my elders, but lately the job piece. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. She's from the old school. She is from the old school of education, education, education. And the minute your feet touch the soil of America, it's opportunity land. Work 3 jobs and don't be a burden to anybody. So while I'm talking about this, I pulled out 2 cards at once. So I wonder, this is a fairy princess. Fairy princess. And the banana fairy. So this is like 2 things that I'm thinking about, when I'm just talking about where my mother's from and her work ethic and how hard she had it very hard in America. My father was her only friend. She left like 3 times. That's another show. That's yet another show. Gosh, that is, oh my God, that's too many issues at once. I am loved. You are loved. So it is. You may easily fall in love with a fairy princess. The truth is, there is so much light emanating from her heart that a glimpse into her iris turns you into jiggly flubber. Action steps. Fear is melting away. You will find out the truth in your situation. Read or write. Trade. Hold on, let me fix this card. Read or write. Trade. Create rituals or make a schedule. Be loving and travel lightly. Romance and intimacy. Actually, I am taking Reiki in December to be able to really ramp up my therapeutic touch game at work. You'd be surprised when when the elderly psychiatric patients when they're calm enough and they're not in full-blown schizo whatever where we need to IM them. I hate doing that. Can I just tell you that I hate giving IM injections to 90-year-olds? I hate that. That's another show. There's a lot of shows. So, as I was saying about taking Reiki in December, I am creating rituals because I do have a whole thing about massaging people's hands and feet. And to me, it's almost like a prayer ritual when I do that. I found out more information when I get to massage your hands and feet, and I create a ritual about and make a schedule. I am making a schedule. I was making a new PM schedule in my head this morning before I went to work. And so this card is very applicable, to keep that motivation up for why my mother gave. I do kind of have her work ethic, but I will never work as hard as my parents. I will never ever work as hard as my mom. And I definitely will never ever work as hard as my father did working. He was much older, born in the tenement ghetto in Manhattan when, this country didn't really exactly like Italian immigrants and he didn't like Irish. And it was him and his 11 brothers and sisters in an apartment this size of my living room, which I would show you my living room, but it looks like something out of Breaking Bad. Tables everywhere and dishes. And yeah, I'm excited to take Reiki. I don't think it's going out of your scope of training. You know what? Now that I'm an RN in a specialty unit, yep, I do see a whole heck of a lot of your scope of practice. I was like, you know what? I'll give you a scope of practice example. This is how I know I got my mother's feistiness, because I'm getting all loud about it. Because now I'm still a little resentful about not being able to clean this person's ears. And I paged the hospitalist, and the hospitalist looked at me in the face. She's a nurse practitioner, by the way. Do you know that hospitalists 99% of the time anymore aren't like actual doctors, but they're CRNAs and stuff like that. And so she looked at me, she's like, nope, she's not cleaning ears. Here, I thought maybe I was outside of my scope of practice. As an RN, it's not outside of your scope of practice to clean ears, but it's just a policy thing. And so with Reiki, practicing Reiki, I can't imagine that being outside the scope of practice of like anyone, because part of our job, when I was a CNA, I learned to be a CNA from my mom. And touching and hugging, and that's all so much part of the job. That's like one of the things I'm still known for. I started out as a CNA in a nursing home, and man, those old ladies be like, "You're not leaving us. Why are you not?" That's why I still have two jobs, guys. I can't leave. Every time I say I'm going to leave, I quit. I'm resigning. Them old ladies start crying because we rub their feet. I'll clean between their toes. I give them rub downs with the lavender oil and give them so much good back rubs. Focus on their lower back because um, a lot of pain, osteoporosis, things like that in their lower back. And these old ladies up here, man, work so hard. With all these politics and black and white and all this other stuff, these people up here in this rural area, the wives and daughters of coal miners, work so hard and literally break their back. So I would give them good back rubs and put my energy into them, which is kind of like the same thing as Reiki. I can't imagine it being outside of the scope of practice of anyone, unless, there was a specific policy, or maybe the person was like super religious Christian or something like that, would get offended. So I don't know, but I'm definitely excited about taking it. So one more card, and then I'm going to go see if I can drink something. The Banana Fairy, action steps. Allow yourself time to get to where you need to be. Use your left brain. Find a way to excite yourself. Boat ride. Call forth your cosmic self and abilities. Because even though now I'm feeling a lot better, I know the minute I take in something that I may get sick again. So I don't think I'm going to go back to work. I'm at least going to call them and tell them I am feeling better. But I don't know what's going to go on. So anyway, I'm going to sign off on this live. Thanks for watching. I'm going to watch some other people's videos while I clean, listen to them. And I'm going to do this again. I'm going to see if this thing will upload, because my cable is mad slow. My high-speed internet isn't all that high speed. All right. Peace out. Bye. Bye, Z's.